Guardians playoffs, and they won enough that they don't have to go through this wild card series, this best of three series, and it's kind of difficult because you play 162 games and you make the playoffs, and then you have to win two or three, and that's a lot of pressure for what baseball is. But as James has kindly brought up the standings, didn't get the number one seed, but got the number two. They'll take on the winner of the Tigers Astros wild card series that gets kicked off tomorrow afternoon. I think it's on ABC at like 2:30 or something. So it's playoffs and anything can happen. I've seen a few prognosticators pick the Guardians to represent the American League, if not win it all. And most of that's based on the bullpen. So going into it, we can't get too far into it with who they're playing because, I kind of hope it's the Tigers. I know they've been one of the hottest teams in baseball over the last month or so, but the Astros always seem to have our number. And I know Sunday's game got rained out, but they won Friday and Saturday. And, going in Friday, the Guardians still had something to play for. They won and, likely won out, they would have had the number one seed. So the Astros always scare me. They have guys that have been there before, that have done it, and that scares me. I'd rather take on the young team, the Tigers. They're going to have to throw Skewball one time here in this wild card series, so he won't be on full rest, if you play him on Saturday. But what do you guys think here as we get ready for the playoffs to get going here over the weekend?
Tigers. So let me just say this really quickly. I have not watched any baseball all season long, very little. I will be watching the playoffs, so I'm going to drop off, but I only got one thing to say before I drop off. There's nothing left to do but win the whole damn thing. I love y'all. Peace out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Let's win that sumbitch.
Yeah. I'm rooting for the Tigers. I want no part of the Astros. You talked about their playoff experience. Is it 7 years in a row now? And like you said, they always play us tough. It's just a bad matchup for us. But at the same time, you've got Detroit with Skubal. He'll be pitching game one tomorrow. You have to face him twice in a 7-game series. That's tough. He's probably going to be the Cy Young Award winner in the American League. Mm-hmm. There's an argument to be made for Class A, obviously, but Skubal's had an unreal season. And it's crazy. You think about Detroit, too. They traded their number 2 starter, Jack Flaherty, to the Dodgers, and still were able to make this run. Imagine if they kept him. But, I'm excited for it. It gets underway Saturday afternoon. I'm guessing nothing's been announced, but I'm guessing it's going to be Tanner Bybee game 1 and probably Matthew Boyd game 2. It's the top 2 starters. I know Alex Cobb pitched a simulated game the other day and looked good. So I'm guessing it would be either him or Ben Lively in that 3 spot for game 3. And I know, Derek, you mentioned it earlier that Tom Hamilton said with the way the series kind of lays out, you only need 3 starters and everybody will be on their normal rest, which is good. Because, you don't really want to go deeper than 3 with what we have right now. But, we have the advantage with the bullpen over any team, in my opinion. If we can get 5 good innings out of our starter and then go to those guys, we know the names: Cade Smith, Hunter Gaddis, Tim Herron, Emmanuel Clase. They've pitched lights out all season, and that's going to be the advantage, and that's huge in the playoffs. Just the only thing that worries me is the hitting, because it just seems if Kwan, Ramirez, Naylor aren't hitting, that neither is the rest of the lineup. So you've still got a couple guys barely hitting 200. So that's going to be a struggle if your big guys aren't getting on base and driving in runs.
And that's the key, is getting ahead too. We don't play well when we get down early, where that offense feels that much more pressure. I know we've had some comeback wins this year. But I know when the biggest point of the season when we were struggling, it just seemed like we were getting down and down early. So I'd like to avoid that. Super excited to see Tanner Bybee as our ace in this upcoming series. Thank God we get to watch the game one on Saturday. And I tell you what, this is what I love. Houston fans are pissed because they got day games in their wild card series. You know what? The hell with you. I don't care if you like it. But on the same token, I sure don't want day games for the Guardians the following week for the ALDS. So that is about as annoying as hell to be at work and then have those games going on, and especially when you got a lot on your plate right now. So would love to have night games for that. But if we have to play Houston, if we can kick their ass and kick the Yankees' ass in the same playoffs in the American League to make the World Series, that would be sweet. I would love that. But I get it. Do we want to have that matchup? Do we want to face a team with experience like Houston who lives in the ALCS? I am not really concerned about the Yankees. They seem to want to beat themselves a lot. So I think I feel that's probably the team we have the best chance against, in my opinion, is the Yankees, just because of the way they shoot themselves in the foot so much. But just excited. In fact, this is the part where I let Brandon know if he wants to go back and pull my clip of our mid-season review, and if we wanted to change how many wins we were going to have, and just make sure you look up my win total, because I think I nailed it right on the head. And we talked about starting pitchers that may be on this team that hadn't helped us at that point in the season. And thank you, Matthew Boyd, for coming up and helping us get to the finish line of having a very successful regular season. And you know what the Guardians did that the Browns still haven't did since 1989 is they brought me one of these. So now a Central Division Championship pennant, the first one ever as the Cleveland Guardians, is in my house in the Cave of Champions, going up on my wall. Browns, where is yours? Where is yours?
And how crazy is it that there's 3 teams from the American League Central in the playoffs?
I love it. Great point.
I love it too. I love it too.
Paul's Tigers.
And the Twins on the outside looking in, which is I love as well.
So
Yeah.
sad.
It's great to see, because I feel like the Royals and the Tigers are kind of in the same boat as us. You know, the Twins, they went out and got Correa. They've had a few guys that they've gone out and paid money for, and more so the Tigers and the Royals are kind of more like the Guardians. They're building from within. I think I saw a clip of Jensen Lewis saying that the Guardians really only have 3 free agent signings on their roster right now: Hedges, Boyd, and the last one escapes me, but obviously they've had a few guys acquired by trade, you know, Lane Thomas, Alex Cobb here this year, but it just goes to show how good it is, the system that the Guardians have. And I saw a graphic over the weekend, I think, that had them 3rd or 4th for rankings for like the pipeline or whatever, and they were the only playoff team in that top 4. Detroit was 5, but you know, 1 and 2 and 3 were teams that aren't currently in the playoff picture. So it's, you know, they kind of lull you to boredom a little bit with the way they play sometimes, but they find ways to win, and they have a bullpen that's scaring a lot of teams, and that's great to have at this point, because you saw what Terry Francona did in 2016 with arms in the bullpen. And, you know, it's asking a lot of Stephen Vogt as a rookie manager to kind of know what buttons to press, but luckily he has Carl Willis to lean on in those situations. You know, is this too early to throw Cade Smith? Or, you know, if I don't throw him here in the 6th inning against the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, is it going to matter in the 8th inning, you know, or will we not have the lead? So, you know, that's the great thing about playoff baseball. There's so much gamesmanship or that chess battle, and it's when fans that really love the game, I think, can really get into it and enjoy it. And you lose that with there being 162 games. Like, you just have those days where it's like, oh, they're on, but I'll just, check my phone every so often for the box score, or I'll get a tweet alert or something like that. But to actually sit there and watch 9 innings and, I'm sure you guys are the same way, knowing your fandom, but, you're trying to think like the manager's thinking, okay, it's the 5th inning. Your starter's been doing good, but this is, the second time through the order, he's getting to the meat of the lineup, trying to kind of think Monday morning quarterback, armchair quarterback, whatever you want to call it. But the playoffs I think the baseball playoffs are the best for that. What?
Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking we have a 2-3 run lead. Let's not bring in Nick Sandlin.
I don't even know if he'll make the postseason roster. I mean,
honestly, I would take the rookie Andrew Walters over him right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, sometimes you get those guys that teams haven't seen, and they can just surprise you. And he's looked great since they brought him up, so definitely can reward him. And he would be kind of that extra guy, because you named him, Kevin. 4 innings, and you have Heron, you have Smith, you have Gaddish, you have Clase. There's your 4 innings.
You got Gavin Williams in the bullpen too. I mean,
yeah,
he can come in and let it fly for an inning or two, and knowing he doesn't have to pitch 6, 7, 8 innings.
Yeah, so definitely a good spot to be in. But like you said, you still have to score. You can't. Your pitching can be great, but you still have to score at least one. And if the big boppers, in quotation marks, I guess, Ramirez, Naylor, even Jimenez, Wayne Thomas came on here in the latter parts of the season.
Big
Kyle
Christmas.
Manzardo, Big Christmas.
Yeah, he's been slumping, but hopefully he gets it back here. Yeah,
but are these guys gonna kind of falter in the bright lights? You hope not, and you hope they have Oscar Gonzalez like series, but without the follow up the next season that Big O had.
Fall off the face of the earth afterwards.
Yeah, but I think Big Christmas is going to come up big time. It's baseball, though, right? You're going to have some guys that will struggle in it and some guys that won't, and that could change series to series. But I think having Big Christmas put one in the seats right behind you at Progressive Field for the playoffs, they're going to be. I mean, look, it's not, there's no game tonight, and you got a sellout crowd behind you. You're live at Progressive Field, right there.
Yeah, I mean, look at that.
Look, it's a sellout. Yeah, so yeah, he's gonna be sending some deep balls there in the playoffs. So it's gonna be exciting. I cannot wait to watch and just feel the crowd, even though through TV. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to an ALDS game. I think I'm going to kind of wait it out and see what other games come to play, because I hope it's a magical playoff run for our Cleveland baseball team.
Yeah, playoff baseball is a totally different animal for sure.